The royal family has weathered countless storms over the decades, but according to insiders and royal commentators, a new controversy may be brewing behind palace walls. And if the reports are true, some observers are already calling it nothing less than an act of war. What exactly has happened? Why are royal watchers suddenly talking about a fresh clash between Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and Prince William? And could this latest development push the relationship between the two brothers to a point of no return? Tonight, we take a closer look at the drama that has everyone talking. For years, the story of William and Harry has been one of the most heartbreaking royal narratives in modern history. Once inseparable brothers who stood side by side through tragedy, duty, and public scrutiny, they now appear to be living in completely different worlds. On one side stands Prince William, the future king, carrying the immense responsibility of preparing for the throne. On the other is Prince Harry, who chose a dramatically different path after stepping away from royal duties with Meghan in 2020. Since then, tensions have repeatedly surfaced through interviews, documentaries, memoirs, and public appearances. Each new revelation seemed to deepen the divide. But according to royal commentators, the latest chapter may be among the most controversial yet. The controversy reportedly centers around a series of strategic public moves that some believe place Harry and Meghan in direct competition with William and the monarchy's long-term vision. While supporters of the Sussexes argue that Harry and Meghan are simply building their own independent brand and pursuing charitable projects, critics see something very different. They see a calculated effort to maintain influence, dominate headlines, and challenge the future king's position in the public conversation. And that is where the phrase act of war enters the discussion. The expression did not originate from palace officials. Rather, it has been used by several royal commentators who believe the timing of certain announcements and appearances has repeatedly overshadowed key moments for the royal family. Whether intentional or coincidental remains fiercely debated, but perception matters. And in royal circles, perception can be everything. Sources close to royal observers suggest that William has become increasingly focused on protecting the monarchy's future from distractions and controversies. As heir to the throne, his responsibilities extend far beyond personal feelings. Every public appearance, every statement, and every decision is measured against the institution he is expected to lead one day. That reality creates an unavoidable conflict. Because while Harry and Meghan are free to chart their own course, their actions continue to generate headlines connected to the royal family. And those headlines often have consequences. Imagine spending months preparing a major initiative focused on homelessness, mental health, or environmental reform. Then suddenly, international media attention shifts elsewhere because of a fresh Sussex-related story. Royal commentators argue that this pattern has frustrated palace officials for years. The issue is not necessarily what Harry and Meghan do. The issue, critics claim, is when they do it. Timing has become one of the most controversial aspects of the ongoing royal saga. Supporters of William argue that carefully planned royal campaigns can be overshadowed within hours by unexpected developments involving the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Meanwhile, supporters of Harry and Meghan counter that the couple cannot be expected to stop living their lives simply because royal events are taking place. And that is where the debate becomes so heated, because both sides believe they are being treated unfairly. According to some commentators, William sees himself as protecting an institution larger than any individual. According to others, Harry believes he is protecting his family and exercising his right to tell his own story. Neither side appears willing to back down, and that stalemate has fueled years of speculation. Recent reports have only intensified those discussions. Observers have noted what they describe as increasingly separate visions for the future. William's approach emphasizes stability, continuity, and traditional royal service. Harry and Meghan's approach emphasizes independence, global media engagement, and direct communication with audiences. Those paths are not merely different. Many argue they are fundamentally incompatible. The challenge for the royal family is that both visions continue to attract enormous public attention. Every move is analyzed. Every photograph is dissected. Every statement becomes a headline. And every headline adds another layer to an already complicated relationship. What makes the situation even more fascinating is the silence from the principals themselves. Despite endless speculation, neither William nor Harry regularly addresses these reports directly. That vacuum creates an opportunity for commentators, insiders, authors, and analysts to fill in the blanks. Sometimes those interpretations become larger than the original events themselves. One royal expert recently observed that the conflict is no longer simply about two brothers. It has become a symbolic battle between two competing ideas of what public life should look like in the modern era. One side represents tradition. The other represents reinvention. One side values institutional continuity. The other emphasizes personal freedom. And as those philosophies continue to collide, every new development is viewed through that lens. For William, the stakes could hardly be higher. As future king, he is expected to project stability and confidence. The monarchy depends on public trust. Any controversy that threatens that trust becomes a serious concern. For Harry and Meghan, however, the priorities may look very different. Their focus appears centered on building an independent future outside royal constraints. That naturally leads to decisions that palace officials might view differently. The result? A cycle that seems impossible to break. One side makes a move. The other side reacts. Commentators weigh in. Headlines explode across the world. And speculation about the brothers' relationship grows even more intense. Yet perhaps the most remarkable aspect of this entire saga is how much public interest it continues to generate. Years after the initial split, millions remain captivated by every twist and turn. People want answers. Can the relationship be repaired? Will William and Harry ever find common ground again? Or has the divide become too deep? Those questions remain unanswered. But one thing is certain. The story is far from over. And if recent reports are any indication, the next chapter may prove just as dramatic as everything that came before. As royal watchers continue to analyze every development, one reality remains clear. The relationship between William, Harry, and Meghan is still one of the most closely watched stories in the world. Whether this latest controversy truly deserves to be called an act of war is a matter of opinion. But there is no denying its impact. And behind the headlines, behind the commentary, and behind the endless speculation lies a family whose divisions continue to capture global attention. The question now is what happens next. As the world watches, the future of this royal rift remains uncertain. Will time heal old wounds, or will new controversies deepen the divide even further? For now, neither side appears ready to change course, and that reality keeps the spotlight firmly fixed on every move they make. What some see as strategic independence, others view as a direct challenge to the future king. One thing is undeniable. The tension continues to fuel headlines across the globe. And until a genuine reconciliation takes place, the story of William, Harry, and Meghan is unlikely to fade from public attention anytime soon.